Hello, friends. We're back again today to talk about the top 5 cards under $10 for the Crown Zenith set. Now, these videos are focused on the art of the card, which considers things like the composition and just the overall visual aesthetic, things like that. This isn't about playability or anything like that. So, this is just my point of view of what cards are my favorite out of here from an art perspective. And as always, I just want to throw a disclaimer there that art is obviously subjective. So, what I may think is awesome, you may not like. If you have a favorite card that we didn't show here, go ahead and put it in the comments and share it with everybody. Maybe they'll find something that we left out here. Another disclaimer here, all the prices we're talking about today are as of the day I'm filming this. Prices obviously fluctuate on cards. They may go up, they may go down. I'm trying to pick stuff that probably won't go over that barrier of $10 relatively soon, but sometimes if we get a little closer to that, there's a possibility it could go over $10, but hopefully, you get the point. It still won't be too expensive. It's not going to jump up to like $200 or something. All right, without further ado, let's get started. All right, our first card for you today is this Ditto GG22 out of GG70. That's Galarian Gallery from Crown Zenith, illustrated by Miki Tanaka. So I really love this card. What we see here, we have a field of Numel out grazing in the pasture, and here we have a little surprise Ditto blending in. And just that little Ditto face on that Numel body, that's the giveaway, of course. And it just, you can't look at this card and just not be happy. I think it's a great piece of artwork here, conceptually as well as aesthetically. You kind of get a playful and whimsical vibe that goes along well with this hidden Ditto, hanging out with these Numel. We have a very minimal style here on the background elements. The hills, the mountain, the trees, even the flowers. It just goes really well with the whole feeling of this card. So really like this. Looks good with this hollow on there. Not really much of a texture on there, but yeah, this card just looks great. And this one's special because it's not just the art that looks good, it's also just the concept. I think all these Ditto cards like this are hilarious to me personally, so that's why this is one of my favorites. And you can pick this card up at an absolute steal price of $1.12 as of today. So I think this is a no-brainer to throw in your collection. I mean, especially if you like Ditto, obviously. I mean, $1.12, you can't really, you can't really beat that. All right, the next card we're talking about is this Latias GG20 out of GG70. This is illustrated by T0, an artist who we discussed last video as well. So this card's really interesting. There's a lot of dynamic action to it. Latias is obviously, jetting around through the city, which is priorly peaceful. No longer so, as he's tearing up people's clothes, flying around. What really makes this card for me is his expression on his face. It's like, he's like so surprised almost, and he's like, oops. He didn't realize this is what's going to happen from his actions of flying through the clotheslines here. And that just really makes it for me. It's such a small detail, I think, but just really humorous. Another thing I like about this card is just the color choices here. Latias is a lot brighter and more vibrant than the background in this, I think. That the background's kind of these somewhat muted pastel colors, whereas Latias is much brighter here. And here we go again. You can take a look at that hollow on there. Again, not much of a texture on here, but looks really great. And just the concept of the art and the composition itself, that's really what makes me love this card. So this is another card you can get for a great price. It's only $1.98 as of today on TCG Player market price for near mint. So if you just like fun, silly little cards like this that just look cool, have a cool concept, I think it's a great pickup. Obviously, if you like Latias, I think this is an absolute must-have. So, great card. All right, our next card here is the comfy GG14 out of GG70, illustrated by Yano Keiji, who we also discussed last week, I believe. So this card, I think, is a little different than the last two, at least for my reasons of liking it so much. The last two I really like mainly for their subject and the kind of the composition there. This one, just the pure art style here, I think is great. Absolutely stunning. Yeah, just take a look at that background, that deep purple kind of, I don't know if you can see that super well. There's these little tiny dots in there. It makes me think of the night sky. I really get kind of a dreamy, almost ethereal vibe from this card. The foreground, the colors are a lot brighter, but they're still not crazy saturated or anything. We have the simple flowers, we have the comfy in the middle. We got some more warm hues here on the flowers in the foreground. You know, we got that red, that yellow, a little bit of orange in the bottom right, and the pink. So, you know, really kind of contrasts well with the background, and none of it's like overstated. None of it's oversaturated or anything like that. I really, really like this card for those reasons. And this is another card you can get for a great price as of today, $2.17 USD off of TCG Player. So, I mean, great card. Just if you want something purely for the aesthetic value, I think this is a great pickup. All right, our next card here is Bibarel GG25 out of GG70, and illustrated by Amelicart. This card is just, it exudes fun to me. That's really what I get here. I love this art style. It's really colorful, really cartoonish. Background is really simple and charming, kind of landscape going on there. Somewhat reminiscent of that Ditto card that we had a little bit ago. Just the simplicity of like the water and the trees really gives it kind of like a storybook quality to me. One of the things I really love about here, it's such a small detail, but the ripples in the water being like those like pixelated boxes, like little, like it's almost like it's a blurred, you know, pixelated effect there. That just really sticks out to me. I think that makes this card a lot just by itself. It's amazing to me what people think up. Honestly, it's such a simple detail, but it makes the card, just elevates it to a whole new level for me. Obviously, we got the Bidoofs and the Bibarel itself, just kind of hilarious. He's sitting in there, they're building the thing around him. Really like this card. So this card is right now at about $5.47 on TCG Player. It has gone up a good bit in the past month or so. I think this may be because Bibarel is a really playable card. I'm not like an expert on the game or anything, but there's a couple decks that definitely use Bibarel, so I'm going to assume that might be why it's going up. I'm not 100% certain. I know there was just there's a rotation coming up or just passed for the card, so I'm not sure if something about this card in particular is, you know, making it more popular now because of that, but the price has definitely gone up, so I can't say what the ceiling for this is going to be. Hopefully nothing too crazy. You know, it's gone from like $3 to 5 something now, I think, something like that. So I don't expect it to go crazy in price, but just a note that you might see some fluctuations here on the price that we're talking about. But yeah, $5.47 as of today. You know, that's a little more expensive than our last few that we talked about, but I really like this art. So I think this is still worth it especially if you're a Bibarel Bidoof fan. One of my favorite cards out of this set. Probably out of all these cards we talked about, this is probably either my first or second favorite. I'm kind of fighting in my mind about which one I like better, this one or the next one. All right, our last card here is Zacian GG48 out of GG70, illustrated by Hataya. So this card, when I saw it, it really kind of took me by surprise. This is vastly different than the other cards we've looked at. The background in particular really gives me Japanese woodblock kind of art style. We're talking, you know, older, couple 100 years old, something like that. I'm not like an art expert, but it's just, you know, it definitely gives me like an older vibe. Initially, as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, this is like out of like an old like Japanese book or something. That's the vibe it gave off to me, and I really liked it. The only difference is Zacian himself, definitely done in kind of a different style to me, like a more contemporary style, which really helps him stand out. Same thing with the colors. Obviously, the background is nearly monochromatic, very little variance in those colors, which I really like the effect that you get there. It really sets the scene. And the Zacian himself, there's much more vibrant colors you normally see with that Pokemon. The red, the yellow, the gold, the white. So really like that. This, like I said, this just makes me think I'm reading some like epic story, and you come across this illustration in there, and it's kind of breathtaking to me. I really like this card a lot. This one does have a bit of a texture to it, and it's really cool. It kind of goes along with those swirls. Let me get this closer here for you. Hopefully you can see that. There's those swirls, I guess, that are supposed to represent wind there. And there's a bit of a texture that kind of follows that. And, you know, just throughout the rest of the thing, just kind of reminiscent of a fingerprint. Give you a couple more shots, let you see that texture there as much as I can with what we have here. So this card comes in much closer to our $10 ceiling. Right now it's $9.32. No guarantee it won't go up above 10 anytime soon. If you want to pick it up on your $10, probably not a bad idea to do it now. I'm not a card value expert, so take that with a grain of salt. But I did have to buy this one. I hadn't pulled it, so I went ahead and bought this, and I really don't regret it. I think it looks great. Really love the texture on it. Really love the whole composition. So this is, like I said, this is probably my favorite card, with the Bibarel a very close second out of all these cards you looked at, because, you know, it's just beyond... It hits on both the artistic level as well as just the conceptual level for me. So I really like that a lot. So yeah, there's our top 5 cards under $10 from Crown Zenith. This was a tough set of choices. There's a lot of great cards in there, in that Galarian Gallery in particular. Go ahead and drop a message in the comments letting me know which of these is your favorite. I'm really curious to see what other people think. And again, if I missed one that you're like, I can't believe you left that out, go ahead, pop that down there too. Everyone else might have a different opinion, and they might really see that and it might help them. If you want to see some more amazing card art, I have 2 videos here for you to check out. One of them is my video of the top 5 cards under $10 for $151, and the other one listed here is when I open 100 packs of Crown Zenith. Both of those have some great art that you'll see throughout them, so go ahead and check those out. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.